Yeah, so Romans 4:17 is another one of those texts, right? That has been very much used to establish a teaching on positive confession. But it's really misinterpreted. It actually, and I'll show you, says the opposite of what positive confession doctrine usually says. So let's read it here together. It says, "As it is written, I have made you a father of many nations." This is about Abraham, of course. "In the presence of him whom he believed, God, who gives life to the dead and calls those things which do not exist as though they did." So the teaching on positive confession takes this scripture and say, hey, we are the ones who are to call things that do not exist as though they did. And when we do that, we create realities with our words. And some of the early Word of Faith teachers, they actually totally misread this verse as it would be Abraham who said, who spoke, these realities into existence. But you just had to read the verse more than once and to see that, no, this is about God. God is the one who spoke things into existence, things that did not exist as though they did, and they happened. So looking at this text and looking at this teaching of Paul about the faith of Abraham, you will find that Abraham's faith was strong. Why? Because God was the one who can create out of nothing. That God is the one who can speak and it happens even when there was nothing in the beginning, all right? That God create as, the Latin expression ex nihilo, that God can create out of nothing. That's a key dogma within Christianity, is that God is the only one who can create out of nothing. And so when God spoke to Abraham, who was not even a father, that he will be a father of many nations, Abraham believed that because he knew that God, by simply speaking, his outbreathed word was enough to make that a reality. So Abraham's faith was not in his own confession. If you still want to use the word confession, you can say that Abraham's faith was in God's confession, that God was speaking out a reality which was not yet there, but Abraham put his trust in that, and that's why he's called the father of faith. So it's very ironic that this verse is taken away from glorifying God and the greatness of God and the glory of God, that God is the God who can create out of nothing. And it's taken in to exalt us and to make believers to be somebodies, to make the believer to be so powerful that even with our words, we can call things which be not as though they were. And I call forth money. I call health. I call success. I call, this church filled. I call you blessed, and, all these kinds of stuff. And if you go to these faith and prosperity gospel meetings and services and stuff, you'll find this a lot, that people call out stuff and they speak out stuff because they believe that that is the way faith should operate. And to be honest, we had to be extremely careful because this can easily bring us into that area of human pride and human boasting, and that shows that dark side of positive confession.